Hey everybody, this is that German guy Josh Runquist, and I'm here with Michael Lessard, now of the Contortionist, who just got done doing a killer headlining set here at the Amsterdam Bar in St. Paul, Minnesota. How's it going?
It's going great. Going great.
It's so cool being able to see you doing a full headlining set with you guys, with the Contortionist. Last time I got to do an interview with you was last year when you were just filling in with the Contortionist, and now you're like a full-time member. So how does it feel doing that now?
It feels good, man. It feels, now that I'm like, it's now that the album's about to drop, and it feels like now I am part of the band. It's no longer like, who's this guy? How's he gonna do? How's he gonna react? Now it's, I'm just part of the band, and that's just what when people come out to shows, they expect to see me. So it's cool. Now I feel a lot more comfortable. It's cool, and actually, I remember that show. We did the interview in the basement.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
The green room, which is probably a little more like brown and
like
other substances in the room down there.
Dark dungeon room.
Pretty much. It's perfect for black metal shows, maybe not so much other ways.
Yeah, exactly.
So, of course, you guys are touring behind your new album, Language, and you're also doing a few headlining shows before you head out on the road with Periphery.
Yeah.
How did that come to be, opening up for Periphery?
Well, the guys have all been friends with the Periphery dudes. I've known them just through Last Chance and stuff, and we were actually going to do a full headliner tour, and Periphery extended an offer for us to go out with them, and we're like, yeah, we'll do that. That'll be fun as hell, So, and we end up doing that, and then we just do some headliner dates on the West Coast. So we got to kind of do the best of both worlds. So it seemed like a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's definitely cool, and I feel so fortunate, like we were talking about before we started the interview, of doing a full headlining set, like the first one of the tour, the first one supporting Language, and getting to hear like the new songs live and some of the older ones that you hadn't done before, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, we actually have never played Flourish in the U.S. with me in the band. Mm-hmm. We did it for like an Australian tour that we did Between the Barrett and me, but when we went to go do this tour, I was like, we probably should do Flourish. Like it's a lot of kids come out, and it's usually the song kids are like yelling, just like Flourish. So I was like, we should probably play Flourish, and and we prepared the XO3 or exoplanet 1, 2, and 3. In case people wanted to hear more. If they wanted to hear more, we're gonna give them a lot more. So.
And with the crowd tonight, I mean, and myself included, one more song.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome, man. It's stuff like that, and that's what makes doing this worth it. There's no amount of money that could ever, that could ever take that away. That's priceless.
So very cool. Yeah. And of course, Language comes out on Tuesday, which I'll be airing this interview along with it, and it'll be playing throughout the week, so it'll be a good way to promote Language as well.
Thank you.
How much of the writing process were you involved in with Language?
All of it, yeah. I actually I flew out to Indiana, and I stayed with the guys for about 3.5 months, and we wrote the album, and basically wrote for 3.5 months, and then we recorded for a month in the studio, and even during that process we were rewriting some stuff and adding extra layers. So I was there for the whole thing. It was if I'm in a band, I'm in it 100%. I'm not just showing up to lay some vocals over stuff. I'm there to see every inner working of the song and be able to play off the different things that everybody's doing and know what type of philosophy they're putting behind what they're writing. So for Robbie's like, I wrote this guitar riff like this, and this is why I was doing it, and this is what influenced me. I can take that and then put my own influences with that, and I feel like it ends up making a better product. And so I was involved 100%.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that too. I mean, I can just like hear your influence vocally through the songs that I've heard so far. On the way home, I'm definitely putting in the album here, the songs I haven't heard yet. But it's just like I love everything that I'm hearing so far. It's very cool to see how much of your influence you got on it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been great, man. I couldn't have asked for a better experience joining this band. It was, when I was filling in, I was 100% like no way, Last Chance Reason through and through, and then some stuff, some stuff with the band. There was a bunch of turbulence and the opportunity to present itself to play with these guys. And after going out and filling in with them, I knew I meshed well. I knew they were all great players, phenomenal people, and it just seemed to work out. And stuff has a weird way of working out sometimes for the better.
Yeah, it's funny how life works like that too.
Yeah, it really is. It's a weird web of things.
Also, with that said, What would be like the main difference, like from doing what you do in Last Chance to Reason compared to the Contortionist? Like, how do you go about things?
I mean, with Last Chance, especially with level 2, it was more about like being a little outrageous. Like that was kind of the point. Like, we're like, well, we could tone this back, but it's a little too fun to be extreme. So with Last Chance, it's more of like that. And with these guys, it's more about letting the song breathe and letting parts develop and waiting for that moment for when it seems like it's going a little too long and then giving, and then,
great job tonight, by the way.
And, letting the songs breathe up until that point where it feels like there's a little bit of tension, it's almost taking too long, and then you create the release. And that's I love that about this band, and I love the extremeness of Last Chance. And both are technical bands, both are on the technical realm of things. I feel like a Last Chance to Reason's just a little more in your face about it. So I'd probably say that's the difference. And when I'm recording Last Chance, it's like how loud can I sing, or how weird can I get with this part. And with this band, it's more my natural singing, and I want to showcase what feels right to me, and try to be a little more emotive with what I'm doing.
Although with that said, especially when I heard it live, the second part of Language, you released a ferocious scream in that song that just felt so cool.
With that being said, I still let some primal stuff out with the Contortionist, but that's just part of my personality. So there's a lot of things that shine through with both bands, but that's because I am who I am, and that's going to shine through.
That's the only way to be too.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like pretend I'm somebody else. I'm trying to just do what feels right.
Also, with that said, too, you said that you're doing Exoplanet and you're doing Flourish. How do you approach those vocal parts? I mean, considering that you didn't write those, I mean, is it more of a challenge for you to do that, or does it feel natural? Now that I've been in the band so long and I've had to learn John's other work vocally, it comes kind of naturally. So if they're like, I'd already known the songs pretty much, but to listen to a song and then perform it, it's totally different. It's like you can watch baseball, but there's a big difference between watching and actually playing. Mm-hmm. So when I came in, I was like, all right, I know these songs, and I was like, oh, wait a second, I probably need to rehearse this a little bit more. But it's, now that I've done so much of his work, I know what his tendencies are, and I know what he likes to do, and I know like he likes to go on downbeats and then switch to upbeats, so it's a little, it creates this jarring effect with the screaming patterns, and there's lots of, and I know what these guys' tendencies are now too, so, and that plays with the vocals, so, lots of 16th note displacements and stuff like that, so now it's a little more natural. Before, I didn't really think about it, I was just trying to learn the songs and be able to perform them to the best of my ability, but it's fun though. It's at first I was kind of like, man, I gotta play somebody else's songs, but you learn a lot about yourself in the process of learning somebody else's material. And I mean, John wrote cool stuff, so I can't really complain in that aspect. I've had a cool palette of colors to work with. Oh, it's very cool to see. Again, I'm just so happy to hear your approach to the Contortionist and everything. It's just so cool.
Thank you very much.
But also with that said, there's also been more of a lineup change in the Contortionist as well. How did that come about?
Well, we were writing the new album, and Chris Tilley played bass. Mm-hmm. He had his personal life going on. He was caught up with that, and he just touring life can be rough. It's grueling. You're away from home most of the year, and when you have loved ones at home that you want to spend time with, it can be very exhausting. And he wanted home life, and that's 100% respectable. Everybody's got their own way. To each their own.
Exactly.
So the saying goes. And so nothing but love for Chris, but we were writing the album, and he told us he wanted to part ways, and we're like, that's cool. Robbie wrote all the bass lines. Robbie recorded all the bass. Jordan did a little bit of bass. He recorded a bass solo on the album, and actually Jordan was basically lined up to join the band 2 days after Chris Tilley had informed us that he wanted to part ways.
Oh wow!
So. Yeah, Jordan, our merch guy was at Jordan's house and mentioned it, and Jordan called us and he's like, dude, I want to be in the band. we've known Jordan forever. We know he's a great bass player. We know he's a great person. So he got the spot. And then with John leaving the band and me joining, I don't play keyboards to the extent of where I want to play it live. I don't want to have to be, chained to a keyboard during the set. I want to be able to roam freely and do what I want. So we brought a keyboardist in, Eric Gunther, which is he's a guy that I've known for a while now. He did keyboards on level 3, and he also did keyboard production on Intrinsic.
Oh, nice.
So we've all known Eric for a long time, and when we went to go do the album, we knew we wanted keys, so we had Eric come in, and we worked so well with him, which I kind of already knew that would happen, that we were like, dude, you should tour with us. You should be like a permanent fixture. So that's how we recruited Jordan and Eric.
Oh, so very cool.
Yeah.
And, even from hearing you guys last year to hearing you now, it's just like it feels so full and rich now, like hearing everything from the back catalog to the new songs. It's just so awesome, and I hope everyone goes out to see you guys because it's just such a great experience.
Yeah, I hope so too. But it does to me. As long as there's a couple people there willing to jam out, I'm more than willing to jam.
Yeah, and every time you hit Minnesota, I'll do my best to be at every show.
I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully we can get an interview in every time.
Yeah, I'd love to do it, man. It's always a great interview doing that.
Yeah, I always have a good time, man. It's fun, and it's always relaxed and chill, which are my favorite ones to do.
Yeah, those are always my favorite ones to do, rather than having like a script and how did you join the Contortionist? It's like I just like the free-flowing stream of consciousness interviews,
And that's the way it should be,
Yeah.
It's not this awkward, contrived thing, But even though there's nothing wrong with those type of interviews, but this is definitely more my style of interview.
Absolutely.
Just shoot from the hip.
Yeah. I mean, being a musician myself, like I can relate more to what's like going on and everything, and I always think those make for the better interviews. But
absolutely, 100% agree.
So going back into what's going to be the full-fledged tour with Periphery, how much of a change is it going to be from like the headlining sets to the supporting sets?
Drastic, actually. Well, I say drastic, but like we're going to do like 4 or 5 songs less, only because of the time slot that we had. We're going to have a 45-minute set as opposed to tonight. We could just play as long as we wanted. So when people wanted one more song, we're like, we'll give them 3. So we can't really do that on the Periphery tour. So it'll be on the Periphery tour. I think it'll still be a good balance between old and new, though. So we'll still keep it evened out.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, we don't want to overwhelm anybody with too much new stuff because the album hasn't even been released yet. So.
Sure. That definitely makes sense. Is there any plans for touring after this current tour?
Well, there's we do the Periphery tour, and then we do the headliner with Intervals and Polyphia, and then we actually go to Europe with the Faceless and Protest the Hero.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I haven't been to Europe yet, and we hit like Sweden, Switzerland, Germany, Italy, France, Ireland, North Ireland, Scotland. It's like the most ridiculous tour, and I'm so glad Protest the Hero brought us out on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to be hitting like all the great spots in Europe, too. That's going to be so cool to see.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. And I get to do it with, we're great friends with the Faceless, and we're great friends with Protest the Hero. So not only do we get to go to a great country and see all these great things, we get to do it with great people that we know very well and we're comfortable with. So it'll be cool.
I'm not sure how familiar you guys would be yet, but is there like a good reception for you guys in Europe?
We'll find out. We've gotten a lot of messages from people being like, super excited that we're coming over there. So I think it'll be good though. Europe seems to have a pretty good metal scene, and they seem to be very tolerant of stuff that's a little more progressive and a little more out there. So I think it'll be cool. And I think between the Faceless and Protest, I think we kind of nestle in between those sounds pretty nicely.
Very cool. I mean, that would definitely be a tour I would love to see in America, but it's really cool that Europe gets to see that as well.
Yeah, hopefully we get to do it in America too. I wouldn't turn down that offer at all.
Yeah. Well, I guess with that said, is there like any plans, like maybe like next year, of like doing like a full-fledged headliner?
It's not out of the question. We haven't really planned too far past this year though. I know after we pretty much were out until Christmas, and I get to go home for Christmas for a couple weeks. And then by the time before we end up going home, we'll probably know what our plans will be for after the new year. But It'd be awesome to actually go out once the album drops. It'd be cool to try to do a headliner that was just the whole language album in its entirety. That'd be really cool. Maybe we'll do Intrinsic in its entirety. Maybe we'll do Exoplanet in its entirety. Options are endless, and we'll see what happens, I guess.
Oh, very cool. So, with that said, of course, I discovered you through Last Chance to Reason. I believe that was the Obscura tour.
Yeah, that was Obscura. Is it Station or
Station 4?
Station 4, yeah.
And then 3 weeks later, Protest a Hero.
Yeah, actually, Protest on that tour. Yeah.
Was there any talks of Level 4?
Actually, I was just hanging out with Evan, our drummer for Last Chance to Reason. Right before I flew out, I was at his house for a couple days, and we hung out. And it's basically we're probably pretty much absolutely, that's as
no problem.
As much of a paradox as that statement is, we're probably going to do another album. We're talking about it, and we're just not going to rush it. We're going to wait till it feels right. It's one of those things where we're all so busy with our own personal things that we don't want to, like touring, we don't want it to be a task. We want it to be something that just feels natural and it feels right, and we're doing it for fun, and it's fun. Because between Level 2 and Level 3, there was a slight different mood between how it was approached. Level 2 was fun. It took 3 years. It was us just experimenting, getting crazy. Level 3 was like, you have X amount of months to write this album. You have X amount of days in the studio. And that's a lot of pressure on a band. That's, when, especially at the beginning when you haven't written anything, it's such a daunting task to be like, I have no idea what we're gonna do. Where the hell do I start? So with Level 3, it was a little more of a chore to try to get stuff done and meet deadlines. And for the next album, we just want it to be fun. We just want it to be fun. We want it to, be more like Level 2, where we get to take our time. We can track stuff ourselves. We're not on the clock, and it feels like we're not sweating bullets to try to make sure everything gets done the way we want it, and make sure nothing falls through the cracks and everything's exactly how we envisioned it.
Yeah, to me, that's the only way to write an album.
Yeah.
Is like it. You have to have the power behind it. You have to have the want behind it, and it's got to come out natural.
Exactly.
And to me, it's like if an album doesn't come out natural, I think the fans can hear it as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very easy to hear a dishonest album. Like a band that's just doing it to meet quota, so to speak. And I don't think I could ever be a part of a band like that. That's why. It's the one thing that Contortionist and Last Chance to Reason have in common, that there's no real boundary set. It's, we don't really know what the album's going to sound like until it's done, and that's exciting, It can be stressful, but it's exciting in the same breath. And that's what life's about. It's about new experiences. It's about, expanding on that. That's not about the same, repetitious bullshit every single day. Which, there's nothing wrong with that, if that's if that's what your cup of tea is. But for me, I couldn't do that.
Right. And I'm pretty much the same way too. It's like when I write music, I just want it to be something that feels so natural to me and not repeat myself.
Yeah. And that's how
good
you
exploration
grow.
And creativity.
Yeah, it's how you grow as a musician.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm knocking bands that stick to their sound, because maybe that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But for me, I have to expand. I have to put my feelers out and try new spaces and see where it takes me.
Yeah, to me, that's just the best way to be, and the best albums are created that way.
Yeah, I believe so.
So just to wrap things up here, I know you guys got to be hitting the road pretty soon and everything. And again, just a tremendous honor to be able to hang out with you again and do this interview. And
thank you.
Of course, seeing you do a full headlining set.
No, thank you for coming out, and thank you for even being interested any of the times I've come out. So.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, since I seen you with Last Chance to Reason opening for Obscura, I've been a huge fan of everything that you do, and it's very cool to see.
Thank you very much.
Is there anything else that you'd like to bring up that I've not brought up yet?
We're going to be on the road. We've already talked about that, but hopefully, people come out, check us out. Hopefully people listen. and hopefully people stay safe out there. That's the most important thing. At the end of the day, the bigger picture of just enjoying life. Everybody out there, enjoy yourself. It's short, so do what you got to do.
It's the only way to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Once again, thank you so very, very much.
Thank you,
It's been
Josh.
a tremendous honor, and I can't wait to see you coming back around again. And I can't wait to get into my car and actually be able to fully experience language in its entirety.
Well, I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, not a problem, man. Once again, this has been Michael Lessard of the Contortionist, and this is that drummer guy, Josh Runquist. Check out the new album from the Contortionist Language, which comes out on Tuesday, and if they come anywhere nearby you, go check them out. See ya.